Welcome back to another episode of Heard It Here First with your host, DJ Max. Heard It Here First is where we get the chance to talk to entrepreneur, young-minded business people and creating a connection. You know, we are creating a conversation for the future. And today I got a special guest in the building, and she's no other but Winter Fitness. How you doing today, Winter?
Good. Winter Body Fitness.
Body Fitness. My bad. I should have said the whole thing.
It's okay.
Okay. Winter, let us know who you are, what you do. Just kind of give us a little insight of where you grow up and all of that fun stuff.
Okay. And when you say who I am, my professionally, and as a woman,
and just define yourself.
Yeah. So my name is Winter. I'm a personal trainer, online coach. I started my business as a personal trainer, just recently transitioned as an online coach, and I now sell digital products and workout guides online. And I would say as a woman, I am a free spirit, someone that loves people, loves to be around people, loves to inspire people, and I would describe myself as a butterfly. I like to be free.
That's what's up. So where'd you grow up?
I'm originally from LA.
LA, yeah. Nice. How'd you end up in Seattle?
My mom and my auntie reconnected. I always grew up with my mom and my auntie. Big family. They had children together, so I have cousins that I look at as my siblings, and they split up for some time and moved to Washington. And when they relocated here and reconnected, we ended up just moving back to Washington. Well, Washington for the first time, and I ended up finishing high school with my cousins and stuff like that. So
that is amazing. Yeah. So what would you say so far? LA or Seattle?
LA or Seattle what?
When it comes to place
where
to
I'm
live.
from?
Yeah, no, place to live. Like where do you
where
like
would
the most? Yeah, if you had a choice.
I mean, I feel like they both have their pros and cons. LA, I mean, big on culture, so I appreciate the community and the culture there. And then Seattle, I appreciate the trees, the air.
Right.
The good water.
The whole evergreen
peace. It's
thing.
really quiet here.
Yeah,
it's funny because it's like when you're traveling, then you come back to Washington, you realize how like peaceful it is and quiet. It's crazy.
Yeah, how close you are to nature. Like, you know what I mean? The trees, the birds, and all of that grabs. Yeah, no, 100%. So how did you get into body fitness? How did you what was your
How did I get into fitness?
Yeah. What was your whole, where did that start from? Is that something you're always passionate about?
I feel like I would say initially started in high school. I've always been athletic. I was like the girl that wanted to do many sports, basketball, track, cheerleading, I wanted to do it all. Right. But I grew up pretty strict, so I'm pretty religious, and my family just wanted me to focus on school and religion. So I wasn't really allowed to do any sports. I did some sports freshman year, and then my mom was like, no, you can't do it. You need to focus on school. She's like, you'll do that when you're in college.
Right.
Which I thought was funny, but that pushed me to, since I couldn't do sports in high school, I'm like, well, what can I do? Because I'm the type of person, I just need to move my body.
Right. What was your favorite sport that you say you probably was into the most?
Volleyball.
Volleyball?
Yeah, I really wanted to play basketball. I really did. I was like interested in it before I even actually played it at all or trained at all, but... Yeah.
Were you good at it, though?
I would say I have some natural talent at basketball. Yeah, I think it's just... I think intention-wise, the fact that I have intention behind it and I want to be good, that I'm someone good, but I mean, compared to someone who's trained, but...
Yeah, no, that makes sense. What about volleyball? You were pretty smooth at it?
Yeah, I was pretty good at volleyball.
So you didn't play it at all throughout high school?
No, I only played freshman year, and that was it. I wasn't allowed to play any sports, so so when I turned to weight training, I was taking like fitness classes back to back. That was like my whole schedule.
Right.
I got to senior year, they're like, you need to take this, no more fitness classes. You have enough credits. I'm like,
yeah, you got to make some other choices now. Like, we get it. No, that is amazing though. Like, I mean, I play sports a little bit, right? I wasn't really good at much of them, right? Basketball, definitely not. But it was a cool thing. To be honest, my sports career in high school was more like a networking thing, like being able to connect with the team and just like being around a group of people I like to be around type of deal. I like the basketball kids because they're hoopers, they're like, besides the fact of being a cool
big
kid,
in
it's
school.
like, yeah, for real.
It's big in school, so people just something to talk about.
Yeah, I used to go hang out in open gym, you know what I mean? Just just hanging out with the team, just kind of creating that relations. But like I said, it was never really something I was really good at. But I love the idea, I love the aspect of it, and that thing is super amazing. So the whole training thing, that's something you've been really like. That's something that you've been passionate about for a really, really long time. So at what point did you like start to take it serious and actually put a brand behind it and put a name of yours behind it? At what point in your career?
Yeah, so after I started getting into fitness, I was around like 16, maybe sophomore year of high school, and then I was just doing it as a hobby at that point. I feel like I really started taking it serious my senior year of high school when I was about 18. And then after that, I would say around 2020, around COVID, 2020, 2021, I feel like when COVID started, everybody was inside. And I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for me to start my business, because it was just a brand at first. It was just like Winter Body Fitness, being an influencer. Like, I wasn't really selling anything. I wasn't, there was no workout guys. There was nothing, no coaching or anything like that. So yeah, during COVID, everybody was inside. I'm like, well, people need to get fit. People are gaining weight. So I was actually going to people's houses to train them. I was doing at-home training and Zoom calls. Yeah.
Really?
That's how I started my business initially.
That is insane. That is unique. Like, how's the Zoom call thing work? Like, what was the idea behind that? How does that work?
Many people weren't doing it around that time, but we just hop on Zoom or FaceTime, and I would just train them. I had some equipment at home. They had some equipment at home. Equipment at home was required. They have to have equipment in order to actually work out. But, and she would just follow my routine through the phone, and that's just how it went.
That is amazing.
And people enjoyed it. I think people liked it a lot. They even after COVID, people were like, do you still have Zoom training? I'm like, no, I'm trying to, I want to do more in person and connect with people. I was like I was so passionate about coaching and just pouring into somebody.
That's dope. You said coaching is something that is newer to your field?
Online coaching,
coaching, okay.
Now I'm not physically training anybody.
Okay.
Everything's online. So now I'm kind of transitioning more into that. I'm not doing any Zoom calls or web calls. Unless necessary, if a client wants to hop on a Zoom, but it's a workout guide that pretty much has tons of information for them to follow.
Right.
I'm there for them to help and answer any questions, but anything other than that, no.
Okay, that is unique though. It's kind of like taking some of the weight off your shoulders, know.
Yeah.
And just,
I feel like there was a point when I was like early on as a trainer, I was like, man, I'm taking so much time for myself because I'm just pouring into people that I felt like I wasn't growing. And that was like important to me, but I was just growing in another aspect. I just wasn't growing in the way that, I want to work out all the time. I want to be the fittest that I be. You know what I mean? Just like super focused on my appearance.
No, that's what's up, because like that's what attract other people too.
Right.
Like based on how you carry yourself and like how you how serious you are about what you were doing is really how it starts. Believing in yourself, because like it's hard to make people believe in themselves if you don't believe in yourself, right? So I feel like the whole coaching part and everything is so major, right? So. Yeah. How do you like maintain when it comes to like the mental aspect of everything? Because like I think the physical part is just like about 40% of the work, right? Picking up the weights and stuff like that, right? But the whole mental part of like motivating that client or like what I mean, kind of like giving them that strength mentally in order to believe in themselves before they even pick up that weight. Like how do you work that part? Like how does that work?
I think before you actually start really working on yourself, being clear on your reality, just where you're at.
Right.
Like just, and then once you're kind of have like in an acceptance mode of your reality, then you can start pouring into yourself. How would you're saying ask that question again? Yeah.
So the question is, how do you help your clients mentally besides just the physical training?
Yeah. So certain tips or exercise I would get is affirmations. I'm super big on affirmations. I love them. So, them practicing affirmations at home and stuff like that definitely starts building up confidence and enough to actually want to pursue their goals. Some people, have built enough confidence to even reach out to me. Right. You know what I mean? So I feel like at that point, just telling them that they can do it and it's achievable, and the fact that other people have already done it. You know what I mean? You just have to follow the blueprint. So just really reminding them that, don't overthink the process or put yourself down so much, because people have been where they're at.
Yes.
Yep. And where they're trying to go, it's already been done. So you can do it too.
Yeah. So in that process, like, what is like your favorite part to see when it comes to like your work towards your client? Is it when they're like constantly doing their work, or like, is it when they're getting to that body shape and form that they're like, you know what I mean? Where do you feel accomplished when you do a job like this? How do you feel accomplished actually?
When they start getting a lot more comfortable in their skin and exercising, because a lot of my clients, they're new to the whole gym atmosphere, not just, someone who's already been in the gym. A lot of them are like new to the whole lifestyle. So seeing them get comfortable in the gym and lifting weights and just kind of like getting comfortable with themselves and feeling themselves, that really like excites me and makes me happy, because I'm like, yes, that's what I want. Like, as you should.
Right.
You know what I mean? You should
100%.
Feeling good about yourself, and makes you feel like they're growing.
How do you pick your clients? Is it mostly just you work with mostly women? Do you accept application for men? How does that process work?
Yeah, I strive more to women. There was moments where like men have signed up for my training, and I had a guy once that signed up, and I'm like, okay, let me see, you know what I mean? Like, I'll test it out. But after that, I was just like, no, it's not really worth it. It's just not worth it. Not saying that's always going to be like that every time with the guy, but there's so many trainers out here.
Yeah,
that is just like
100%. That was just like
why me out of all people?
That makes sense.
I can really help you.
Because I was just wondering, like, what were your client base? Like, I bet people out there too are wondering, like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you handle your client base? Because it's not specific to say, hey guys, I only work with women. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so
now that I'm not personal training no more, though, I do be surprised that guys be like, you're motivating me to get up and da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I can do that.
Right. No, and the consistency
it's not like gender related.
Yeah, for real.
To motivate somebody.
Exactly.
So I kind of start changing my mindset about it. But, I wouldn't work with a man one-on-one now.
Right. No, totally understandable. Yeah, totally understandable. So when did you have your first client? Like, I remember you said COVID, but like first in-person session, how was that?
Yeah. Looking back on myself, I'm already a very fast-paced moving person. And I was a lot more very fast-paced back then too. So I would say I was a little bit all over the place. And it was a lot dealing with that client. That client taught me a lot.
Right.
But you said, when did I meet her? Mm-hmm. It wasn't... it was actually during COVID, because when the gyms were starting to like open, there were some gyms that were actually kind of open, but nobody knew about it. But yeah, I'm not sure if I answered your question.
No, that was where I was going, because my question was like, who was your first client and how was that like? You know what I mean? Because when you first start to work with other people, the idea is a little more new to you, right? And you're working with someone else. It's like you have to be a little more structure or base, And,
I had to really learn how to like how the format goes, the structure, how to coach, and like how to be, because I feel like that's when I started learning like human interaction, and like learning how to like really connect with someone's heart and be that person for them. Because I'm not really there to like be the type of coach like, you're not doing this right. You know what I mean? Like, there's coaches out there, I guess, unless you're training for something specific, but in this case, no, I'm here to uplift and encourage. So I guess kind of like finding my forte, how do I actually coach?
No,
how
for
do
sure.
I actually?
Because when you say coach, I'm thinking like, like you just, come on, like, you know what I mean?
Right, because everything's coaching like, but it's like coaching is like pouring into someone, telling them something new, giving them a different perspective.
Right. So I'm guessing you wouldn't coach a volleyball team?
Would I coach a volleyball team?
Yeah.
No? I probably wouldn't coach any sports team.
Right.
Because, I'm super big on like confidence, character development. That's more of my realm.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it has to be like something more like person self.
Oh, okay.
Not like an actual sport.
Right. No, that explains a lot, to be honest. Because when I meet personal trainers, it's like I feel like there's more to it than just the overall. Oh yeah, I'm a personal trainer. Like you know what I mean. Like
more to just the weightlifting.
Exactly. Like what is your specialty? Like what are some things that you're really good at that is better than the next person? Like what makes your style a little more unique? You know what I mean? Right. So that's my goal. I'm always gonna ask questions like that. You know what I mean? But how do you stay motivated? Like, how do you stay, like, passionate in what you do? Like, from your day-to-day routine, like, how do you stay motivated?
I think, it's from as long as I feel like I've been able to comprehend winter and, like, be in consciousness with myself. Right. I feel like I've always had a focus of just really wanting to be the best version of myself. That's so cliche to say, but it's just so true. Like, I just want to be the best that I can be wherever I go. And it's not necessarily a competition, but I just want to be the best with whatever I'm doing. So yeah, that keeps me pretty motivated. And, when it comes to a specific goal, continue to keep pouring into myself, really learning from other people. Right. Because I feel like that keeps me motivated about life, seeing different perspectives of life, because sometimes I can just get bored or maybe put myself down just living in my own reality. Yep. And then learning from other people and seeing their reality keeps me pretty motivated.
That's what's up. No, I would say the same. For me, like, it's like being able to learn from other people and like
connecting with people.
Yeah. It's like my number one thing is waking up in the morning, right? Waking up in the morning is automatic.
Definitely
I'm automatic. Yeah. That motivation.
Cannot take that for granted.
Exactly. That right there is where it starts from, right? Facts. And then everything else beyond that is what life is offering. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good way. That's a good way. Like people around you, the things that you do every day. Like, how do you battle some of your obstacles with this business, especially? Like, is there anything you say that is kind of in the way sometimes, and you got to wrap your mind around it, or like, is there any kind of physical obstacles in the way when it comes to what you do, or just in life generally?
Is there any?
Yeah.
I would say when it comes to my business, and probably more on like not the actual training, but more of the business side of like marketing and stuff like that. I would say an obstacle would probably be connecting with a lot more women in my industry. Okay. I feel like that's been such a challenge. I don't know why.
Do you reach out?
I don't, and that's the thing. Like, I need to be a lot more open to collaborations with that. I think a lot of women in fitness, I think we're just so focused on self that it's just not. But there's communities and people that are out there that
Right. Is that something you want people to know, that you're working on, being able to collab with other people in your industry, and actually
specifically women? Yeah, for sure. Because I feel like I just feel like there's a lack with that, with like having a community of women, supporting in the same industry. No. I don't see that a lot. Yeah, it's just, and it's going to be competitive everywhere, but women, I would say we're a lot more competitive than men.
Nah, that's true. That is facts. That is facts in every way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
In every way, shape, or form. Because like for us, we just want to be cocky. You want to believe that,
right?
You know what I mean?
But I guess doesn't mean there's not women out there that are like that as well.
Exactly. Nah, you're right, and that is amazing to see that you're actually in a space where you're visualizing your opportunity in a way where it's like, okay, I want to work with other people. I want to work with other women in the industry. I think this is amazing. Like, I think like learning from their experience can help you out too, right? So when it comes to working with other women, I think that is a huge benefit to you, because now you get to understand the inside of like what they are facing and how they are targeting their market and how they're structuring their clients, and just different ways that you could probably use for your own benefit, or like you can just learn or like teach somebody something new. You know what I mean? So I think the idea of collaboration is something that I talk to all my guests about. Like even with my last guest, Leo, like he's like the king of collaboration. He's really, really good at it. He knows how to get into those markets, to those fields that he find attractive towards his business, and just reach out. I think that's where it starts from, because people wouldn't know how open you are unless you like gave them that idea, right? So right now, right here, you expressing the idea of like, you're open to that. You're open to working with other women trainers.
Having that intention, for sure. I feel like just the fact that I've already been having opening myself, people probably seeing how about my business I am, or, you know, how open I am, that I just been getting a lot more opportunities.
Right.
It's
right.
like, it's funny how that works.
No.
You know, just having that intention, that energy behind.
Exactly.
Without actually like physically, hey, can we do this? You know what I mean?
Right. And people can tell too. Like, energy speaks for itself. Like, it's not something that, you know, like, it's not something that is not there. People can feel it, you know, people can tell. So, in that case, like you said, you want to work with other people, you're open-minded to that situation, right? What are your form of marketing right now when it comes to your business? I know most of it is online. So it's like, what is it? More like social media based, you got a website? Like, how's that like? Yeah,
I had a website a couple of times. I was going back and forth with that. There was so many, because, you know, there's so many formats that have changed over time. There was like a link tree, or maybe you should have a website, or maybe you should have it like a store. Now I've kind of settled in for like a stand store type of vibe. I do market on social media. That is my main way that I get clients. But I don't know, I'm a walking product. So with what I do, you know, people come up to me all the time. I'm like, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Or you look good. How do you know? And so I'm already able to kind of like market myself that way too.
So would you say like 60% is word of mouth?
Yeah.
That's the best way to market.
I would say 16%. I wouldn't put a percentage on there, but I would say half and half, because honestly, social media, I get so much reach, right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
You never know.
Way more.
Right?
Way
then I'm
more.
meeting people every day, so I don't know who's seeing me.
Right. No, you're right, though. You're right.
But I guess it would feel that way.
Do you go to like events? Like, do they have like training and workout programs, events and stuff like that? Do you go out there networking?
I would say, no, I need to, though. I feel like, you know, I'm just like at a point now where I'm like, I'm super locked in about my fitness and everything. Was never not, but I'm very multifaceted. So I have like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this in different type of realms. Like, this is just completely different from fitness. Like, what? I have to choose one thing to focus on if I wanted to grow.
Right.
So I'm kind of like in that space now where it's like, okay, I mean, it's a lifestyle. I've been doing fitness for years. Why not really do it, you know?
Yeah.
And so go tap into community. So I want to start going to events and stuff like that. I haven't, though. I even want to compete, but I don't know. I'm kind of like, feel like I'm already missing that mark, because there's just a lot of requirements when it comes to the body on like how they want you to look and weight loss and certain things like that. I'm not sure if I really want to transform that.
You will compete if you had all the qualifications of it?
Yes, if I wouldn't have to do too much. It's just that, I'm not sure if I want to put my body through that. Look,
I mean, nothing comes easy. It's called competing for a reason.
Exactly.
It's competitive. Like.
Right. But I'm just like, do I really want that much muscle? Do I really want to look like that? But it's just a moment in time. It's a season. Right. It's not like forever.
Hey. You telling me, so.
But I've thought about it a couple of times, but I keep getting pulled in so many directions. I don't know what to do.
Right. No, that is actually hilarious. I think it's worth it. If you ever thought about it and think there's something you can do and you had a qualification for it, like, why not try? You know?
I know. It's like, why not do it? I need to find a coach. There was moments where I'm like, I'm gonna do it, and then. You know how life goes. I
think the cool part is when you try it and then you realize it's not for you. It's just,
right.
Yeah, that's the best part. But it's crazy to say, you know, you want to do it and then never tried it or like never give it a try. And it's just, you know what I mean?
I know, right? I need to do it.
I tell everyone that because like I got a bunch of friends and like people around me that just want to do stuff. Like especially from where I'm from, like I got all the homies like, dude, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you know they haven't tried or they haven't reached out, and it's just kind of hard to like, you know what I mean? It's like kind of solving a problem that you don't even know the problem. Like you got to understand what you're doing, right? And then how you want to play it, and then you go try it, and you're like, okay, I think I like it. Honestly, this is the reason why I never did it. You know what I mean? So you would never know that answer unless you try. So
it's a fact.
I think you should keep that on the list. Keep that on the list. See where that takes you. You know, being competitive is key, especially in your field. Because being able to help other people reach their goals and everything like that is also your goal. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like other people's goals depends on your goal, right? Because like in order to get somebody right and give them the reach or whatever they're reaching for, that means that you were trying hard enough to get them there, right? And it's not accomplished if they didn't accomplish what they were doing because their whole goal was to believe in you helping them. So at the end of the day, you know, just keep that momentum, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And keep helping people, help yourself too at the same time. So in this field, I know there's like, you know, there's different challenges and stuff like that people face in every business, right? Would you say there's any in this business that you face at all so far, especially now expanding to, you know, online coaching and stuff like that? Has there been any kind of little mini obstacles in the way, or you just been executing?
I would say besides connecting with people, which there's a solution for. No, not at the moment. I really feel like in this moment of time, I have everything that I need, all the resources. Like there's really nothing stopping me.
Right.
I just got to keep going and like stay on that momentum because that's the only way for me to continue to keep figuring it out. You know, because it's like as I run into problems, I know there's a solution, but if I don't stay on it, you know what I mean, and stay on the consistency, then I won't figure it out.
Nah, that makes sense. So if you had like
any problems do arise.
Right.
Sorry.
If you had like a younger person out there around your age, well, you started at around 16, 17, you said?
Yeah.
Right? And you had somebody in that field that was starting, what are some advices you would give them? Yeah,
I would say focus on yourself. Don't worry too much about what people think about you. You know, not saying it doesn't matter, but just don't have too much focus on that. Really focus on pouring into yourself and building yourself up. And, you know, don't be afraid to do things you really want to do. Because like you were saying earlier, if you don't, you know, try it, you won't know if, you know, where that will take you at all, for real. Especially, you know, and it's really the small things, you know what I mean? Like not going to that event or not going somewhere where you never know who you're going to meet or what you'll see or something that would just change your perspective or your life. So yeah, just really having confidence and wanting to get up every day and strive for their goals. Be confident.
Right. No, 100%. Yeah. Be confident is important the key. To you know?
Yeah.
Be confident.
Try to keep that.
Yeah, that's the same thing I will say to anyone that is working in any field. Like, same with me. It's like building confidence to do whatever that you like doing, right?
Yeah.
Is major key, because I feel like everyone think they have it until they were put on the field, right? Until they were put in that position, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I didn't see this coming.
Confidence is tested.
Confidence is like major key. I tell anyone, like Facts. Even with me starting a podcast, like it's tough. Like it's not something that I felt like I could have just came up here and just be cool or talking to people and asking questions. It's just a confident thing too. It's something I had to get over and just like understand that it's more beneficial. It's bigger than me, right? Especially when it comes to like anything I'm doing is bigger than me. I'm not doing it to look cool or like
That's
just be that guy.
It's
not
like, always about you.
Right. Yeah. So the moment you take yourself out the equation and like put that thing there and say, yo, this is I'm doing this to help somebody. I'm doing this to inspire somebody. I'm doing this to promote somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I started looking at more of like the structures and steps of like what this is and what the whole business structure behind it can benefit someone else, it became like, you know what I mean? There was no hesitation anymore. It's like, dude, it's not even about me anyway. So I'm not even worrying about. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's so
not.
true,
I'm not
though.
worrying about the confidence. It's just like now I just gotta, you know, engage with people and just, you know, be able to network and have a conversation that is more engaging, that is beneficial to someone out there. You know what I mean? That's always been my goal. It's like create a conversation that helps somebody out there. Create something that make conversation cool again, right? That's really that was actually my first thing when I created my logo. It was gonna be make conversation cool again. Before now it's like creating conversation for the future, which is still cool, because what we are doing right now is like building somebody else out there to like get up and whether podcasting, you know, body fitness, whatever their idea of business is, we are legit just giving them a little more insight of like, you know, what we do on our day-to-day basic and what you do on your day-to-day basics. So I know you were like a major content creator, right? With online videos or just pictures of whatever the circumstances might be. So how does that play? Like how does that play a role into your business? Like consistently posting? Is it like the, you know what I mean? Just the idea of being able to get your clients to see you doing something every day. How does that work? Because to be honest, that takes work. Content is not as easy as people think it is.
Facts. I feel like I just locked in on it for real this year, to be honest. Because Because before I was just creating, was just being myself, which worked, but I wanted to have a lot more purpose behind my content than just being on the internet. But so I'm sorry, say your question again.
No, the question was, how do you maintain, content creating? Because I know it's a lot of work.
Yeah. So now that this year, now that I kind of start looking at it a little bit differently and really like structuring it out, just like anything, like it's a job.
Yeah, no,
you know
it
what I mean?
is.
So you have to treat it literally like that, especially being an entrepreneur. You're on your own schedule, you're your own boss, so it's like you have to be on top of those things. But yeah, I just start treating it like a job and making sure that I'm just putting it in my schedule. It takes up a lot of time.
Right. No,
but
that's true.
I do have the time. So I feel like when I just changed my mindset on how I was looking at it at first, then before I was like, oh my God, I don't have much time. It's taking forever. But as I started doing it, you just get better at it and it gets faster. So now it's like not taking so much time. In the beginning it did, but it's like, okay, I structured it out. I'm doing it. I put in reps. It's just becoming faster and faster. But just structuring it in my schedule. Yeah. That's how I've been able to execute it and be able to like produce as much content as I can within a week. My goal is at least like three reels, 3 posts, and keep it as that. But I really try to keep up with the algorithm and like all the news that's going on with Instagram right now. So it changes.
Yeah, 100%. Same thing. We are learning that every day, like even at the studio, like we all do different kind of, style of content, but like we have to understand like how to really manage that and know how to put it out there and stuff like that. And would you say like your consistency on content creating is helping your business?
Yes, consistency. I feel like consistency helps, but having a lot more effort in the actual content. It's not like I'm just like, oh, get this angle. I need to get myself doing this. Like, people can feel the energy through the actual video. So you can tell when things are staged or kind of like just not.
Yeah, for real. It's like, I don't know.
Right.
That don't look right.
So it's just like, learning how to like really capture myself in that element. Being a lot more intentional with my content and actually creating it like I'm in it.
Right. No, for sure.
Not like I'm just like putting some shit together.
No. Yeah, I was just wondering on the growth of your business because I know for us, content creating is pretty much everything towards what we do, right? Like we are fully like, especially with podcasting, like everything is online. Like the videos from the reels to like the video itself, like everything is about the imaging, is about what you are posting. So we understand the importance of that. Like even with the team, like with the clothing brand and stuff like that, like we have to put pictures and images and stuff like that out there all the time to make people comfortable. And one thing I learned about like imaging is pretty major, because I remember the homie told me, he's like, bro, when it comes to growth of business, he's like, I didn't really see the clothing brand grow as fast till I put somebody in the clothes, right? Like it's insane to like think about how imaging works. You put you can design stuff all the time, but if people can't picture themselves in it or like can't feel a part of it, now is a little, you know what I mean? It's a little shorter. Like I watched the movie Air, right? It's about Michael Jordan, right? If Michael Jordan didn't put on those Air Jordans, they would have just been another nice pair of tennis shoes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like when he put his feet in them, that's when everyone was just like, oh, it's Michael Jordan shoes. Right, like, you know what I mean? So it's like sometimes you got to put, like you said, sometimes people can tell those videos are staged. Like you got to put some kind of reality in it, something organic, something that someone can be like, oh my God. Like,
just be human.
Exactly.
I think that's just really what it is. I think people overthink it.
Right. And I think the best way you guys do it in your field is by showing the transition.
Yes.
Right? That before and that after right there, like part. It's must. That part right there, I think that's what grabs.
I live for transformation.
I think that's what grabs people's attention the most, because like everyone wants to know where it started and how it was, Right. Like same thing with music. If you put me on an artist right now, I'll listen to whatever song you put me on, but when I get a chance, I'm going back to this old shit. Like, you know what I mean? I'm going to go go back like, okay, let's see what this dude from, how this started, and before it got to where it's at now, because that's what's gonna build my respect towards that artist. Or that's what's gonna build my respect towards that trainer. You know what I mean? Like whoever it is, right? That's why I tell people sometimes you just be organic with it. Like don't be like half-ass or anything like that. But like also like it's okay to like show the beginning part of it, like, you know, like
Facts.
where
like,
it started.
Facts. That's so true. I feel like anytime you're starting a journey though, or business or anything, you want to be perfect and you want to already be there. And
yeah,
it's like,
for real.
You're not though, and it's okay. Like you're saying, it's okay to be at the beginning. It's okay to start from square one.
Right.
You know, it's okay.
People gonna respect you. People gonna respect you for that.
Like people want to see the journey though.
Yeah, people gonna respect that. Like seriously,
it's so
like
true.
Like I like one of my favorite. What like Castanet is like one of my favorite online when it comes to creators and stuff like that. But like I'll go back to Kai video where he was like interviewing people on the street. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just so organic, and it gives me more support to him. Like knowing that Buddy started this way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when it comes to like being whatever you want to be, like I feel like people need to chill on that. Like, oh, you got to be perfect before I start.
Yeah, let
like,
yourself form and grow.
Crazy. Nowadays, I meet people, so many people that be like, oh, dude, I'm about to start a YouTube channel too. Like, oh, I'm about to start this and I'm about to start that. But like, I just got to wait for this camera or this lighting or this, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong.
That was me.
You're going to make it quality no matter what, right? Like, you still got to make it engaging and get people to watch it. But I feel like we just need to like chill on that like perfect status and just start.
I feel like I got caught up in that. Like the past couple of years after I had started my business, I was like, oh my God, like I just want to be perfect, you know, and just look a certain way or just be a certain way. But going back to remembering how like I'm at where I'm at or how my business even started is because people watched me from high school change and transform. That's how people even trusted me from the get-go. Is where my business even started because people seen the journey. Right. And so that's why I was like, yeah, I need to continue to be transparent and continue to just be where I'm at and not try to like, you know, we're all going to put on our image and our facade, you know what I mean? But like, it's okay. I'm young.
So would you say most of your clients are people that you are aware of or normally is just some randoms? Like how does it, because like you said, from high school, these are people that have been watching your transformation. And I think the cool part about that is that people can see that this is something that you actually are passionately about. It's not like, oh yeah, I just want to look cool and have the perfect body or like, you know, it's more like, oh nah, she actually loved doing what she does, right? And it started at a young age to where it's at now, and this is the outcome of what it is, right? So I feel like that whole part of things is pretty amazing to know. But like, how's your client base? Like, is it mostly people, long-term people, or is it now you're getting some new randoms? How's the structure like? When
it started from people that actually I went to high school with me. That it wasn't really my peers, but it was actually people that were younger than me. And I was like, they're like, oh, I didn't think they were paying attention to me. I was like shook. I'm like, what? How do you know me?
You never know.
Right? You never know who you're inspiring. And so it started from like people around the community, locals, and then as time went, as I started to grow as a trainer, I started just, I guess, attracting different type of people. At first, I used to be really kind of like, why am I attracting young people? It's because I'm young. Like people don't respect what I got going on. Like what's going on? You don't trust me? Like, and you know, I just had to grow. Right. I had to grow, and as I started to grow as a trainer and people, I started attracting different type of people.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. I feel like you also got to respect those young people that trusted you first, though.
Right, because I have to start from somewhere.
Yeah, for real. I know you're a little iffy about it, like, oh, why am I, like, but you got to give those guys that
I was
credit.
Like, they're not serious for real. I'm young, too, but I'm like, they're not serious. But there was some that were, you never know. You never know. You can't underestimate anybody.
You're right, though. I feel like that's one thing we don't get the chance to control as business owners, right? It's like if I started a business, even if it's an in-store business or it's a shop, I can't determine who's going to walk in there to buy something. Right. You know what I mean? Short, tall, skinny. You know, it doesn't matter. Like somebody young, old, like it doesn't matter, right?
I had an older client. I remember around that time, I had a super young client. She was like 17, so I was real iffy. And then I had an older client. She was like 80. And I was just like, this is it was all new to me.
Right.
I had to like learn, but it was great practice. I got to learn how to like train different age groups and like what was needed, you know?
Right. No, that's cool. That's actually a good question. Like how does that work when it comes to like age group of people? Like is there like a certain things that you focus on, or you just kind of aim towards their interests, or like how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going to focus on their initial goal.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, still, I have to structure the exercise a little bit differently, especially for older people, is because the focus isn't to be lifting heavy. It's just more about mobility and being able to actually move all their limbs, you know, so they can avoid certain things like arthritis and, you know, diseases that can stop them from moving their body.
Right.
So yeah, a lot more mobility work, calisthenics, which is like body workouts and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So
I focus a lot more on for older people.
Nah, that's what's up. So you got that in mind of like, you know, what kind of workout and what kind of you know, what kind of like, you know, weight and idea to put on a certain type of client.
Right.
So
it's definitely all subjective.
So your younger ones, like the 17 and up, those ones you kind of give them the work, don't you? Like
definitely. It's like I'm not even gonna be re-racking no weights. It's on you.
Yeah, this is on you. Like you're young, you got this.
Right.
Like, you know, nah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Like I find things like that so fascinating because like when I think about business and different business structure, like if I see your online business, I'm like, dude, I could do that. You know what I mean? Or if I see somebody doing something, I could do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that don't look complicated. But then when I get the chance to sit with you guys and like talk and understand, it's not just about, it's a structure to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to
order.
Yeah.
It's
you
like
know?
almost everything.
Yeah, for real. And there's more to it than what we just see or what you guys put out there. Like, especially with the transformation. Oh, she did that in 6 months. Come on, I could do it too. Like,
I know. Facts. Easier said than done for sure.
But when you really understand like the whole idea behind it and why that process took a little bit of time, you know what I mean, to get you in that body structure or whatever, like I think is really unique. Like, what would you say your length of time you normally give your clients? Like when it comes to like how long do you think people start to make physical transformation, whether it's like the physical body or like just like the mental strength towards whatever you were teaching them or helping them with?
Yeah, I feel like that's a really popular question. Clients are always asking, when am I going to see results? How fast am I going to transform?
Right.
And it's really all subjective. It all depends on really the person and how much, you know, work they're putting in and just how their body develops. But with that being said, I would say about 2 to 4 weeks, you're going to see something, because at the end of the day, if you're doing something you haven't done before, what you put in is what you get out. It's literally law. You can't just do something and then there's no type of result.
Exactly.
It might not be the result you wanted, but it will be something. You know what I mean? And that's at that point, that's when you start modifying and figure out, you know what I mean, how you want to continue to keep going.
Do you ever make suggestion on like food and meal plans? Or
for sure. It's 70% diet, 30% exercise. So a lot of it is how you eat.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of people, they struggle with habits in a sense of like portion size and like maybe their relationship with food, eating when they're bored, or, you know, some type of eating when they have anxiety or they're like nervous or stressed. So we focus a lot more on that with the relationship with food than what they're eating.
Right. So do you normally give them recommendations on how to go about it, or suggestions on what kind of food or better to go for in this whole transformational process? Yeah,
I was offering meal plans with the workout plans, but I stopped doing that because I probably want to connect with like someone who's a nutritionist, just to give the best the advice that I can give.
That's
because a lot with my diet is what works for me. You know, it's not going to work for everybody.
That's
and
true.
It's all subjective. So it's like, it's my job to figure out, you know, a routine and something that can work for you. But, you know, you just got to have to figure out as you go.
You know, it's so crazy how when you answer those questions, it always just brighten me up to like something I want to ask next. Because like now you were saying like, you know, probably like reaching out to some like nutritionalists, like people who are helping out with like can give you better structure on food and how to eat, right? Like how, like, you know, how. The question is, where do you see this business going in the next couple years from now, right? Is this something that you're going to build an empire and you're going to bring like people around? Is it like, do you picture your own gym in the next 5 years? Like, give me some big visions. Where do you see this thing going?
I feel like I had many ideas and romanticized many visions of how I wanted my business to go, and it changes as time goes.
Right.
I think recently with the transition of switching from physical training to online training, I'm really focused on building a community. So having a strong community base within my business, and just selling workout plans and selling products that people can be able to purchase from me. But I don't want to just sell the cliche products like resistant bands and workout powder and stuff like that. But I'm still trying to figure that out. Kind of like what's more of my thing. Because people are like, I wanted to do leggings, I wanted to do other products, but I'm like, I'm just gonna stick with the workout plans. Right. And it might just be digital products that I would just be offering only.
Right. So you think if you start to gain more clients, is that something you have to expand your you know what I mean? You have to get other people in the mix because you can't train everyone.
I think, my business changes. My business depends on my lifestyle. So it's like, depending on if my lifestyle changes, then my business will change. In this moment of time, if my business continues to keep growing, I'll probably will just stick to how it's running with just digital products and not really going to one-on-one, because I am so multifaceted. I just want to do other things, and not saying that I want to just neglect that. It's just that I just want to have a foundation that can run smoothly on its own without, doing any one-on-one coaching or having to show up for anybody.
Oh, okay. That's dope.
There might be a time in my life, though, where I will offer that service again, but and depending on my lifestyle or the time in life.
Right. And that's also come with involvement and growth, right? So you got to understand, like, when you are growing, you're going to find the best way to handle whatever situation it is, right? And that's what makes things different. Like, same thing with technology. Like, we're not going to keep using the same thing. We got to adapt to newer ones, right? So you are in a space in your business where you feel like this is new, this is working, technology is helping out, social media, online, all these things are tools that are helping out the business. So now, for me, I can actually relax, right? Because I bet you 4, 5, maybe 10 years ago, there's no online. If you're a trainer, you pulling up to the gym, you meeting your clients in person, you got, it was all right then and there. Right now, you have the chance to have your online coaching and stuff like that.
There's just so many automations that you can set up, and not saying that it does take away from human to human connection. Not saying that I'm don't want that available, but there's people out there too, which I've been those type of people and customers where I bought workout plans and things that just worked for me. And those are the people that I'm looking for, that can take that and that can be effective for them instead of, one-on-one coaching or other things. Because there's people out there that are doing that. But this is what I have to offer. And this is
and that's what makes your business unique. That's what sets you aside from other people and stuff. That's exactly what I'm going for when I ask that question. It's technically it's just you using your sources and means around you to make your business more unique, right? Kind of limiting the stress on you, but then still involving and helping other people, because it's the whole purpose of what you do is helping other people. So you were saying in the long run from now is just, it's gonna be where it's at, but more on a bigger, on a higher scale.
It'll probably be some boot camps. I mean, you never know. You never know. But again, I run my business depending on my lifestyle. So it's as my lifestyle changes, other opportunities come. I definitely see some
boot camp
for sure. Run a couple of classes over here, this thing for sure. So it's
I can so picture that.
Winter body fitness will always be a thing, though. That's for sure. It'll always be something.
Right.
For sure.
Because at the end of the day, I was gonna tell you, I overheard you use the word if.
Yeah.
And I honestly tell all my entrepreneur friends or all my business-minded folks, stay away from if, right? Because if you believe in what you're doing, it's if It's
Are you
gonna,
telling me? It's gonna happen.
it's gonna happen.
Facts.
Like if it's not even a word in my
No
book,
doubt about
like
it,
you
for
feel me?
real.
There is no doubt about it. And not like
I
the
know.
way you handle that afterwards. Like you're like winter body fitness is always gonna be a thing. You know, that's a good way to end
Facts.
that. Like you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because I was waiting
However
for
it
that. Like
evolves.
I needed that confidence because that's exactly what we were doing is like building that confidence
Yeah.
for other people to understand like our impact and what we do and like why we
Right.
do what we do. You know what I'm saying? What keeps the
Absolutely.
smile on our faces when we do what we do. So at the end of the day, this is my favorite time when I sit here and communicate and ask you guys questions and figure out like how
Right.
life is and be able to share our little, you know, whatever we learn on our own and just like brighten out somebody else's day out there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That is the goal. So when it comes to like standing on business, I want you to stand with 10 toes.
Will do.
So I will say keep the if, you know what I'm saying? Keep the if out of the whole, you know,
Facts.
equation because, you know, you're doing something really unique. You're doing something amazing.
Yeah.
You're helping people become themselves again. You're giving people life back, you know what I'm saying? Getting
Thanks.
them back into the rightful body
Yeah.
size and rightful shape. Like even the health, you know, you're keeping people living longer than they
Yes,
expected.
it's
So,
more than the physical appearance and aesthetics. The longevity of your health. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't think about who they're going to be and how they're going to be or where they're going to be in 50 years, 30 years. I be
Yeah.
thinking about how I'm going to be when I'm old. So it's like, you know, I want to be able to move my body. I don't want life to be hard.
Yeah, no. Who the hell don't want to be
Nobody
in
want
like a, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
unless you just don't have good intention for yourself, it's like,
Yeah,
you just
Jesus
got to
Christ.
understand, like, this is a kind of business that we always going to need, right? It's
Right.
not going nowhere. It's not like, oh, yeah, people are just going to, everyone's just going to have a tough mentality and just start working out and then we wouldn't need coaches and trainers and stuff like that. That would
Yeah.
never be the case, right? No matter how
Yeah,
good a
never gonna
team
stop.
is, they're always going to need that coach. They're always going to need that guidance. You know what I mean? It doesn't, you know, the coach don't play. 80% of the time he's not playing,
Right.
but the guidance, the structure in which he's giving his team and his, you know, his players and stuff like that, that is what helping them win those games. That is what keeping
Yeah.
them motivated to keep playing. So I feel like your kind of business is really unique and being able to do what you do is actually just fascinating, right? That's why
Thank
I was
you.
looking forward to like talking to you and like
Yeah.
seeing like where the mindset is, like why you start doing what you're doing, you know, like
Yeah.
what's the benefit of it to you personally and just kind of seeing you sharing that whole background story like you know, like we were just talking off camera, like, you know, we don't know each other that well, but like just respecting each other business and what we do is something that I find passionately, right? Because right when I meet people now, it's like the first thing I look for is like, what do you do? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because like I feel like that's where I find like connection with people because it's like, hey, I do this, you know, but
Right.
I'm not the best at it. Then what do you do? And if you're doing something and I like what you were doing, it's like, how can I help you? You know, how can I help you help
For
me?
sure.
Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's the space
That's
of
what life's
life
all
I'm
about.
at, right?
Facts, yes.
Learning.
It's the point we have people on this earth to help each other.
Exactly.
Like-
So when I saw your whole structure, I was like,
Yeah.
yo, we definitely need to talk. Like you need to give us idea on like how you're doing it, you know, your consistency, your online presence, your growth of
Yeah.
your business and stuff like that. You know, I think all of that is like, it's money. You know what I mean? It's definitely like where we need to be right now. So I feel like at this point, right? Normally my question is if you could, and I feel like you saw this one coming already. If you could be known for anything else, right?
Oh, yeah,
besides
I
what you do now, what would it be?
If I could be known for anything else,
Yeah,
that's a
it's-
different.
Yeah, it's just like if you could have, you know, if you
Yeah.
could have. Let's say you were a trainer. Like, what else do you think people should know you for besides a trainer?
I think just a businesswoman because I'm so about. I'm falling in love with business and like the whole structure and just the character development that comes to running a business. So yeah, I would say a businesswoman, someone who does business.
Right. I mean, you are already a businesswoman.
I know I'm already that. So I
Yeah,
guess,
'cause-
but I'm not. You know, people see you differently. So it's like I
Right.
don't know how majority of people see me
Right.
or respect me
Right.
as.
But if they could see it, this is what you want them to see. This is what you want them to know. That like you a businesswoman, you a coach, and that's that's what defines your character. I would say the same thing too. Honestly, like I want people to recognize my presence more than what I'm. If I was in a space to do something specific. Whether it's like to do a shoot or like, maybe just do a quick interview. Yeah. I just don't want you to look at me as an interviewer or like a journalist or stuff like that. I think we are more than what we are when it comes to us as humans, but like we were so programmed to accept labels. Like, for example, we accept one thing in our entire life. Like, oh, I'm a doctor. I'm a teacher. Like, you know what I mean? You just that's it. That's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's it. Like your whole life is based around that one character. Like you could have been anything in this world, right? That's why when I see people that starts unique businesses or like do something out of the books a little bit, I find it fascinating because it's like build your own character. Like, you know what I mean? Facts. Like be your own mind career. Like
there's no gatekeeper in a lot when it comes to entrepreneurship. So it's just like you can do whatever. I feel like once you tap into that, it's just like it's amazing.
Nah, I feel like that's one of the reasons why people don't reach out quite often because of gatekeeping.
Yeah,
I think that is maybe that's some of the reason why you haven't reached out because you think people might be gatekeeping or they're just not gonna.
I'm definitely getting more into. I think what stopped me from reaching out before was I wasn't really as confident in what I had to offer or what I knew. I've always felt like my confidence dwindled when I'm like, can I trust what I know? Right. Is what I know right? Yeah. When it's like, yeah, it is, because if you've gone through it, you learned it. You know what I'm saying? It is. It's your truth. You know what I mean? And so yeah.
So you
but now I'm more in the space to do this.
You wouldn't consider yourself a gatekeeper, though, would you? It depends. So let's say if you had another trainer that reached out to you and we're just kind of needing some tips on like how you maintain certain things. Yeah. You probably gonna be like,
for the most part, no. I'm gonna put people on game, but at the same time, it's kind of one of those things. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. So it's like you can even put people on game, and they might even recognize that it's
yeah, 100%.
I mean.
But you were saying at least you're open enough to say, yo, I can share some stuff with you.
I'm open enough to put you on the right track.
Right. Nah, that was my question pretty much. Because like, I know out here, like generally, like people are just hardcore on the gatekeeping thing. Because like when they find an idea that works for them, they just kind of keep it away.
That's selfish. I mean, you can't even grow that way at that point when you're just keeping everything to yourself and just not trying to. Yeah. That's just ridiculous. I don't even.
Nah, 100%. Like, what does like collaboration and team means to you? I know you you a loner. You know, I don't know if I should have said it that way,
but I am a loner.
So how does that play a part in what you do? Like, do you work with other people? Like, do you have like friends and other people around you that kind of help keep that, or you just kind of like taking this thing all on your shoulders?
No, definitely. I have a partner that definitely keeps me leveled, keeps me, it's good because he's the type of person that is similar with what I do. He's a trainer as well. So it's like, I get to see that blueprint.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is really cool, having somebody that's already kind of like gone through something, where I get to learn off of.
Right. No, that is money. So that is money.
It's free game, right? Like
exactly,
what? Like
for real.
I feel like so pretty much the people around me.
Okay. Yeah. So the team, so friends.
Sorry.
Yeah, so it was more like collaboration and team?
Yeah.
What about collaboration, though? I know that's something you said you're a little open to. Have you collaborate with anyone when it comes to whatever you do so far?
I've done collaborations.
Maybe even online content and stuff like that?
Yeah. I've done collaborations with people, but I feel like not within my niche, and that's always been my problem, is not focusing on what I'm doing, because I'm so multifaceted. I want to do this, I want to do that, and it's just like I'm doing all these things, but
right.
What's the focus? What's the purpose? You know what I mean? What are we looking at?
Yeah. What are we?
It's cool that I can do all these things, great, but it's like someone's an expert at something.
Yeah.
So. And
also about reach too. When I picture collaboration, like whether it's like Instagram or like collaborating a post with someone and like being able to like expand that reach, I think is quite it's quite insane that people need to take more advantage of. I know like not a lot of people are fans of collaborations, right?
Yeah.
For me, my whole situation is about collaborating. I'm sitting here talking to you and we are sharing our information, and at the end of the day we are giving information to our own crowd of people. Like I tell a lot of people, like we got a different reach of like people. Like, I'm not from here, right? You got a whole California background, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to like reach, we are all like in different markets with it, right? Depends on who you are and what you do, right? Some people are from Seattle, born and raised. It's perfect, but at the end of the day, you don't know what part of Seattle or like what part of Washington they're from. They probably got hella reach in Bellingham than you do, right? So, at the end of the day, it's like I think I always ask that question because like that's where we were pushing towards more is like growth. Because COVID was like that thing that took that word out of the equation. Because like it was like a boogeyman thing to even try to work with somebody. Is like, oh my God, like no, don't touch me, don't breathe on me, don't you get close to me, you know?
Right.
It was okay. Like we have built the mindset to be okay with distance, you know what I mean?
Yeah, with
like,
isolation for sure.
Right. Like it's totally fine now to tell somebody, you know, you don't want to be close to them because of what life has built. So I always ask that because I feel like that's something we are evolving in again and we are getting back to.
Yeah.
And that just, you know, I feel like we should all just kind of keep an open mind and just kind of check out the benefit of what collaboration look like. But I'm glad you respect the people around you and they're a major to your growth and what you do. You know, having a partner that can help keep you keep that momentum and like, you know, maybe even show you some new tips or workout tricks and stuff like that to add into your routine.
For sure.
I think that is amazing. That's how me and all my friends are. Like I would not point at a single one of my friends that I would say don't have a benefit in what I do. They might not sit here and ask you all the questions, but they control cameras, like you know, things that I can't personally do in the moment, right? So it's like sometimes you just gotta understand the impact of like everyone around you and just like, you know, take the time to say, yo, you know, I really value that. Like
and that's kind of like my focus is making more connections with people, you know. Right. Find people that are good at what they do and utilizing that.
Yeah. That's true.
I feel like I haven't been doing that.
Right. And like you also got to be careful with that because sometimes people think like when you tell them that, oh, you know, I'm just, you know, you locking in with a person because they offer a certain benefit. It's like, no, it's not like I'm using you or anything. It's just like in life, we all just have to have a benefit to each other or else it's just not going to make sense. You
would be lying if you were to say it wasn't transactional and not saying it has to be.
Right.
There has to be a reason why you want it.
Yeah. So, and some people get it really complicated when I try to break that down. Like, yo, if somebody is not playing a role in your life or in whatever you guys are doing, it just don't make sense. But it's like, oh, you trying to use me because I do this or I'm good at that. It's like, you just got to understand, like, because at the end of the day, you trying to use me too. Whatever you find, whatever whatever reason you around me and think that I'm beneficial to whatever situation you got going on, you know what I mean? I could use that too. So I feel like we need to understand the structure of that, right? About people in your life and what kind of benefits to bring towards it, and we also gotta like just know how to shift that. You know, just know how to like keep the rightful ones in the pocket that you need them, and you know, because we all got the party friends, and you know, we go party with. We got the friends that get down to business. You know what I mean? We got that friend that you call late night when
learning how to separate those friends for sure.
Yes,
no, for sure, boundaries.
It's key. Like you know, that's actually a good question. How have you done that? Like since you started your brand, because like think about it, right? A brand changes you in different ways, right? When you were younger, before you had your brand, you could be whatever, do whatever, right? But when you start a brand now, your image is on the line, right? Because if you messed up, now it's not you messing up, and everyone is looking at like, oh, Winter Body Fitness is that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just you anymore. Now it's like your whole brand is getting stepped on from one wrong decision you made in a personal moment. So how do you like, how has that differentiate how you connect with people and friends and stuff like that since running your own business?
How does that differentiate?
Yeah, so how have you like structured your friend group and structured the people around you just to make sure your image is clear? Yeah,
I feel like going back to me being a loner, I do have friends, but I'm not a type of person that has like a lot of friends in a sense of friends were an issue. I feel like it was more family. I had to distance myself from family. and stay away from certain people. I'm sorry, I keep losing the question.
Yeah, the question is, how do you differentiate yourself from a certain group of friends, or like since you started your business, how is that like structuring your friend group, or like just people around you in general?
Yeah. Like we were saying though, keeping them, this is the friends that I do this with, this is the friends I go out with, friends I eat with, friends I could take advice from.
Right.
I don't really have much business like friends. I feel like I'm like in the beginning stages of like in that realm of people and connection and relationships.
Yes.
With that, I'm new. I'm like I'm getting out there again. Yeah. I feel like I'm like rebranding myself because it's like, we grow. I was young, like, people from, your school and stuff like that, your community, your locals. And now it's like, okay, I'm a young adult now. I'm ready to start being out there. Haven't been out there the past couple of years. I have been, but not like in the sense of open enough to start creating relationships with people. So I would say like it's still new on navigating that.
Right.
I haven't had really much experience where I had to like, damn, like my friends is like stopping me, or it's messing up my business or my focus or anything like that.
Okay. I mean, that's dope, because like, you have to, and you're doing great. Is this like your first podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. You know what I mean? Stepping out the prom box. Like I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. Like, and that's a growth. That's really like a lot of the friends I talk to, or like entrepreneur I talk to, they're all like, sometimes most of them is their first time on a podcast. Yeah. And I tell them, it's like, dude, that's like one step. You know what I mean? Like, you got to understand, you got to be proud of yourself. Like, when it comes to getting, like you said, you need like reaching out to more business friends. And it's tough.
Very
right?
Uncomfortable.
And you are sharing so much that you feel like, damn, a lot of people didn't even know this. And now it's just going to be something that is out there, So I love this. You were taking one big major step. Like you said, you're going to definitely get into the business arena. You were doing it. This is how it all started. Just being able to tell people where you at with it and how's it going, and you'd be surprised how many people will reach out and be like, hey, I saw your interview and I want to sign up, or like, oh, I like what you said and I thought that was really powerful and that was really impactful. So at this point now, this is where you tell us how we can find you, know, if you have any like expectation of what you got coming up, like maybe events or whatever you got planned for Winter Body Fitness, like you can give us a little bit more of how can we reach you and what can we expect from you in the long run.
Yeah, you can reach me, and my main platform is Instagram. So at She's Winter, at Winter Body Fitness on Instagram as well. The new things that are coming up right now. So yes, I'm doing the fitness where I'm selling workout guides, digital downloads that you can instantly download to your phone. But I'm now teaching people how to monetize off social media and how to actually do that, because I didn't know how to even get in a position to even start selling workout guides in a digital download format. I had to learn that, I had to get it from somewhere. So look out for that with Winning with Winnie, learning how to sell digital products. And Instagram is the main platform. Okay.
Instagram. So same Instagram and you got some more stuff in the books coming up. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Honestly, we should have you again on the show sometime soon. I definitely want to watch the growth of the business, see how things go, and maybe in the next year or two from now, we'll be having a whole nother conversation, maybe about the business, the growth, and you might just be in a whole... look back on this video like, oh my real, God. Oh my God, this is where it started.
That's where I was.
I think you're doing something quite unique and amazing. Thanks for being on Heard It Here first. And I tell my guests at this point, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell on top, get that notification, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for being here, Winter.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, and peace out.